Hey guys, it's Chelsea and Omar.
Hey guys.
We're here to make another video for you. Today we're going to talk about microorganisms.
Microorganisms.
Yeah. Do you know anything about microorganisms, Omar?
No.
You don't know what they are?
No.
Okay, maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, do you know what an organism is?
Yes.
Yeah? So, could you tell our viewers what's an organism?
You're an organism.
I am an organism, yeah. I am one organism. You're an organism.
That's right. We're both organisms.
An organism is something that's living, a living thing, or something that acts like a living thing. So, it doesn't have to be living, but it has to act like a living thing. So, we'll talk further about that in a minute. The micro part, what do you think that part means?
That it's small.
You're right, yep. So, are you a microorganism?
No.
I wouldn't call you a microorganism, yeah. What about the baby? You think the baby's a microorganism?
Well, he is small.
He is small, yeah, but he's not quite a microorganism. The micro part means that in order to see it, you have to have a microscope. So you can't see it with your bare eyes.
No.
You need help. So that's what a microorganism is.
Okay.
So any thoughts? Can you think of any microorganisms now that we know what it is?
Maybe.
Okay, what comes to mind?
Fungus.
Yeah. So sometimes we can see fungus, like mushrooms are a type of fungus. Sometimes we can see them, but you're right that sometimes we cannot. What else can you think of?
Bacteria.
Bacteria, yep. Affectionately called germs. Yeah. All over, everywhere, but you can't see them, right? Everyone says, wash your hands. But you're like, what am I don't see anything on my hands. But yeah, our hands, everywhere, we're covered. There's microorganisms, bacteria, fungus, and there's one microorganism that's been affecting us a lot lately. Can you think of what that is? It's affecting all of us.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, you're right. So coronavirus is not a fungus and it's not a bacteria. It's a virus, which is actually not a living thing.
It's not alive.
Can you believe that?
So it's not an organism.
It is an organism because it acts like a living thing. It actually takes over living cells and has them reproduce it. It's the virus.
So a microorganism only needs to act like a living thing?
Yep. It's either a living thing or something that acts like a living thing, like a virus. So that blows my mind that the virus is not even a living thing.
It's not alive.
Yet it can do a lot of damage. So, we're not going to talk about coronavirus today. We're done talking about it. Phew! I think we've all talked enough about it. We're going to talk about a different microorganism that's actually even more prevalent, meaning there's a lot more of it, than the coronavirus.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? Like, coronavirus is everywhere right now, right? Well, I mean, it's actually, we don't think it's in our home. We don't think we've gotten it. But everyone's talking about it. So,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it seems like it's everywhere. But this one is actually more prevalent than the coronavirus.
Okay.
Have any guesses about what it might be?
Where does it live?
Well, let me give you one more hint. Sometimes this microorganism can make you sick, but most of the time, thankfully, it does not. So it's in the air, it's in the soil, it's on plants. You use it to make bread.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
Oh wait, no.
That's what you put on bread.
Okay, it's not peanut butter. Use it to make. I've never made bread before.
Never made bread. But do you know what you need to make bread?
Flour.
Flour? Okay, what else?
Water.
Yep. What else?
An oven.
Yep, you're right. And there's one more important ingredient. Unless you're making a flatbread, which doesn't rise. But this ingredient, this microorganism, makes sure that the bread rises.
Does it rhyme with feast?
Yes, it does.
Yeast.
Yay! Good job. We're going to talk about yeast. So, yeast is not a virus like COVID-19, and it is not a bacteria. It is actually a fungus, the first one that you talked about.
Fungus.
So, like I said, it's all over. So, it's actually is on your skin, it's in the air, it's on plants.
It's on me right now?
Yeah, more than likely, there's some type of yeast. So there's lots of different types of yeast. And like humans, yeast consumes carbohydrates. Do you know what carbohydrates are?
Carbohydrates are...
It's a fancy way of saying sugar. So they consume carbohydrates, so they eat them, and then they release carbon dioxide, just like we do. Like, we need food. We need food to live, and then we breathe out carbon dioxide.
That was carbon dioxide.
It's one of the byproducts of our digestive process and our respiratory process. So today we're gonna, actually one more thing. Yeast has been used for thousands of years to make bread. Can you believe that?
It's a long time.
Thousands of years.
That's older than me.
Yeah.
And you put together.
And both of us put together.
And probably everyone in your class.
Yeah. Think if we added up all of our ages at Harbor House, it would probably, yeast has been used in bread.
Older than that.
Even longer, yeah.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna do a very simple experiment to see if we can grow some yeast. So I hope you guys will join me. You're only gonna need flour. You can use any kind that you have. Wheat flour and rye flour work really well, but use whatever you have. Water, a bowl to mix it in, and a spoon or a fork to stir it up. Okay?
What are we doing with this guy?
That's for the baby. But it kind of does look like it could be a virus or something, right?
It's like a molecule model.
A molecule model, yeah. So, anyways, if you saw a microorganism under a microscope, it might look something like that.
Ooh, could you play with it?
Not exactly.
Okay, cool. So are we ready?
Yeah, let's go get started.
Let's get started.
Guys, I'm here with all my ingredients. My flour, I'm going to use some rye flour. I have my water, and I have my bowl and my fork for stirring. So I'm just going to measure a half cup. Measurements are not super important because this is not a very exact thing. We're just trying to get some active yeast. So, like I said, yeast is all over, including it's all over the grain. So right now it's dry. So Omar, what are some, did we already talk about living things that humans need?
Not yet.
We didn't? So, are you sure? So what are some things that humans need to survive?
TV.
We don't need TV to survive.
Food.
Food, yep. What else?
Water.
Water. What else?
Shelter.
Shelter. Anything else?
Naps.
Sleep, yeah. So just like humans need certain things in order for us to survive, so do yeast. So does yeast, which is a living thing. So although yeast, unlike humans, can kind of hibernate, kind of like a bear. It's not an exact comparison, but they can lay dormant, which means they're like in a kind of like a sleeping state where they're not active when they're dry. But then when we add water, which is what we're gonna do, then they can come back and start being active again and start metabolizing, which means start eating and breaking down carbohydrates. So, but if you look on the nutrition facts of something, one of the facts is total carbohydrates. The rye flour per one serving, which is a 4th cup, has 23 grams of carbohydrates. So those are all the things that the yeast are gonna start breaking down. So when we add the water, so now I'm gonna add water. I'm gonna add slightly less than half a cup. So I put half a cup of flour and I'm gonna put less water than flour. So I'm gonna start with right about there. And then I actually didn't put all of that in there. I'm gonna see how this looks and then I might add more. So then we're just gonna mix it up. Are you getting this? Getting this mixing action? I want it to be actually...
This is half a cup.
This is half a cup. I want it to be kind of runny, but not too runny. Okay. Actually, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more. I might actually add a tad bit more water. Just like a drop. Mix it, and then once I'm finished mixing completely, I'm gonna show you the consistency. It's not exactly, I want it a little runnier than that. So that it kind of holds, ooh, I might have added too much water. Like I said, this isn't a very exact science. Okay. I think we got the right consistency now.
What's consistency?
Consistency is, that's a hard thing to describe.
Is it how thick it is? Or liquidy?
Yeah, how thick or liquid. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Like when you're making pancakes, you want the batter to be pretty runny, so you can pour it on the pan and it goes flat. But if you're making cookies, for example, then it's more of like a thick dough. So yeah, that would be the consistency. With the cookie, it's a thicker consistency, and with the pancake, it's a thinner consistency. So we're kind of somewhere right in the middle with this one. So that should be good. And now our job is just to wait. So I'm gonna leave this.
Where?
I might actually leave it out here on the porch, on the balcony, but I am gonna cover it. But you wanna cover it with something that has some breathability. So like some fabric, maybe if you have a paper towel or if you have just a
full t-shirt.
Yeah, this is actually a piece of a t-shirt. It's clean. I mean, we washed it, but or a washcloth or something that you could just put over the top so that like bugs and other things don't fall into it, but that the yeast can still get air, because it does need air. It needs oxygen. So I'm gonna leave that, and tomorrow I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna check on it, and then I'm gonna stir it to make sure oxygen is getting through all of it, because like I said, it needs oxygen. And when it's wet like this, when there's water involved, it doesn't, and there's no movement, oxygen doesn't circulate very well. So that's why I have to stir it. So I'm gonna do that every day. So you gotta come back and check on it every day and stir it. And after maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, you should start to see bubbles on the top. So we're gonna check back in and make another video once we have some bubbles. But yeah, so try this at home, and I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and yeah, having fun with the good kind of microorganisms. Okay, see you soon.